the things I was most worried about headed into training camp was the depth at the linebacking position. If we got injured, if we lost a starter, I thought we would be in trouble. Well, guess what? After the first 2 preseason games, our linebackers are good. Kick the red, double move on the red. Everybody do King Ding back here, and you know what? This is the funnest week of preseason in my mind. The week 3 dress rehearsal week is the best week because it's the closest we're going to get to a regular season game in preseason. After this, you just give me the 53-man roster. I don't even know why they play the 4th preseason game. It's just, ugh. But This week I don't mind too much because you're going to see more of the starters than at any point in time during preseason. And you know, it's pretty interesting because we're in week 3 of the preseason right now. We're there right now, and where's Zeke Elliott? Where's Zeke Elliott? Zeke Elliott is at home. He came back from Mexico. All the Cowboy fans were like, oh yeah, Zeke is going to sign. He's getting ready to sign. And then Jerry Jones made the comment that he did. Now, you hear about this, right? Where he made a comment like, who's Zeke, or who's Zeke Elliott, who, or something to that effect. And Zeke is offended, and he should be. He should feel disrespected. But what is Jerry doing? This old man, he's like Emperor Palpatine. You know what I mean? Like, why would you let him talk? Don't let him talk, Dallas. I need you to sign Zeke Elliott because I want you at full strength. When we double moonwalk that ass, I want you at full strength. No excuses. How can you do this to your best player? I don't understand what is going on with Dallas. You guys are nuts. I mean, I was a Mark Holmes stream. Shout out to Mark Holmes. And I'm watching streaming, and Pollard's playing, and people go, oh, we don't need Zeke. We could trade Zeke. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Here's how I see the Dallas Cowboys season. No Zeke, no playoffs. It's that simple. You have to sign him. I cannot believe what we're seeing in Dallas right now. I just really can't. I can't at all. It's crazy to me. It's nuts, you know. And I just wanted to say real quick too before we get into the meat and the potatoes of this video. I actually have another video coming out too. It was going to be one long video, but it's like 24 minutes. It's too long. So I had to break it into two different videos, and that video should be out later tonight, maybe real late tonight, early tomorrow on the East Coast. It'll be out. Some interesting things to think about with the Eagles. So now I want to talk about the greatest team that ever was. The team that always sweeps them stinking Giants. That's right, your Philadelphia Eagles. Now, in regards to the Eagles, they've had a few transactions over the last few days, and I want to talk about some of them right now. The first one is the Eagles cut linebacker Paul Worley. Now, he was coming back from a torn ACL, and from everything we're hearing, he was having problems with the knee. It wasn't going smooth for him, and I'm not surprised that the Eagles go ahead and cut him. You know, the Eagles, they need healthy guys. They need guys on the field, especially with some of the injuries we've already had. He was not progressing, and yeah, I'm not surprised by this move at all. So after cutting Paul Worley and creating an open roster spot, the Eagles went ahead today and filled that spot by signing 23-year-old linebacker Chris Worley. He was a 2018 undrafted rookie free agent who signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. He is now here with us in Philly, and I pretty much see him as just a camp body. He's just somebody to come in, take some reps, take some snaps because we have some guys injured, and that's about it. Maybe at best, he's a practice squad guy. But right now, I just see him as a camp body. And when it's funny because when we look at the linebackers, right, and we look at the start of training camp, one of the positions I was concerned about a little bit, especially the depth, was the linebacking situation. I didn't know what to expect from some of these guys. And, you know, after 2 preseason games, all I can tell you is I'm very happy and very satisfied at what we have at linebacker, okay? Yes, we don't have Bradham playing. Yes, we don't have Cruzier Hill playing. They will be back. They will come back. But in the meantime, those guys being out has given other guys a chance to shine. And the guy I'm specifically talking about is one L.J. Fort. Now, I went back and I watched the Jags game. He was fantastic. He was really, really good, and I really liked this kid. I liked him week 1 versus the Titans, even though, that whole touchdown he allowed, I think it was more on the safety, it was on Cyprian. But I like this guy. I think he's fast. I think he's instinctual. I think he's a good tackler. And I think that this kid is a really good find for the Eagles, man. I didn't know what to expect from him. I am very, very impressed with L.J. Ford, especially after the first 2 weeks. And you figure, eventually, you're going to get Braden back. And then you're going to get Camus Grugier Hill back. Okay, then we have Zach Brown. Zach Brown doesn't show up at practice. People have talked about how bad his practices have been. But as soon as he gets into a preseason game, he starts to produce. He starts to play. So we have him. Then you have L.J. Fort. And then we have the emergence of T.J. Edwards. T.J. Edwards had a great game also. Okay, I think he's going to make this team. I think L.J. Fort, he kind of reminds me of Camus Grugier Hill in some ways. You know what I mean? Like special teams guy who is getting better and better, and eventually he could be in a situation where he can maybe be a starter. I kind of see him like that. I like L.J. Fort a lot. I've liked him the first 2 weeks. T.J. Edwards too. Zach Brown. I think the Eagles are set at the linebacking position. I think we are deep. I think we are deeper than we were last year. And the emergence of L.J. Fort, T.J. Edwards is a big reason why. Eagles linebacking situation is really good, and it's very underrated. As for the rest of the Eagles, they were back at practice today. Now, what was so cool about today's practice was it was the first joint practice with the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be practicing with them all week leading up to the preseason game on Thursday, week 3 of the preseason, the dress rehearsal game. I will be streaming that live, so come hang out with me, but it will be against Baltimore, and this is the most important preseason game there is. This is the one that is as close to the regular season as you're going to get. So it's going to be an important game. It's going to be an interesting game, and it's going to be against Baltimore. And they're going to be not only playing Baltimore Thursday, they're going to be practicing against them all week, which leads me to the question that I want to know. How long is it going to take Andre Dillard to get in a fight? How long is it going to take until he gets in a fight? I'm going to say by end of the day tomorrow, Andre Dillard is going to have double moonwalked some Raven ass. That's what I think. I think he's going to get in a fight by tomorrow. It won't last long. When you have these joint practices, these teams always get in fights. They always get in fights. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love when they get joint practices and they fight. Then they go and they have a preseason game and they're all mad at each other. It's great. And I think Andre Dillard, he's getting ready to go. If he's fighting Barnett and everybody else, he's fighting a Raven. It's going to happen. So we're going to have to find out. But the Eagles, they were there practicing with Baltimore today. And from what I heard, Baltimore, they have a pretty good secondary. They have Earl Thomas. But you know what? That was no match for Carson Wentz dropping back. He's firing 50-yard bombs right over Earl Thomas, right in the hands of Alshon Jeffrey. Beautiful pass today. Was the play of the day. Everybody was talking about it. He also hit Aguilar on a couple big passes. He hit Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was back at practice. Mac Hollins was catching balls. Maybe Mac Hollins is getting healthy. I don't know what to think about Mac Hollins. I just hope that he's healthy and that he can play, because in 2017 he showed a lot of talent and I was very high on him, and then after all the injuries and he was out for so long, you just don't know. So if we could get him back, it would be great. I mean, really, to think about it, I mean, we've had quite a few injuries, but none of them have been like, at least I can't think of, have been like season ending. None of them have been like, okay, your season's done. We've escaped some of that, and yes, we're gonna have to deal with some of this stuff early on in the season, but if you figure we get healthy, we get some guys back, I mean, we could be relatively healthy going into the playoffs. We still have a chance at that, and that's an important thing. So maybe this is finally the year where we finally catch a break from injuries. That would be great. I would love it, But anyways, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, Eagles' first day of practice with Baltimore, the joint practice. It's going to be an interesting week, and I'm waiting for Andre Dillard to beat up somebody, to get in a fight. I can't wait to see it. With that said, tell me what you guys think. Take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.